Chatting with Cherubs.
Hello and welcome to Chatting with Cherubs. I'm Morgan Rees. I'm here with the wonderful
Gearoid Farralley, and I'm also here with the fantastic
Josh Jones. Woo, hello.
Woo. We're back.
Yeah. We're a little bit late because I've been chafing.
Josh is like a peeled orange.
Yeah.
Honestly,
there's smoke coming from between his legs.
like my legs are burning because I've started jogging and I've the proper, my thighs have, I put weight on it in my thighs, I think. My thighs are kissing. And,
Ooh,
and
sexy running.
yeah, and it's proper chafing. I mean, just then when we was recording, I had to keep moving. My balls were stuck to me leg. It's warm though, isn't it? It's sunny outside.
Yeah, we'll find any excuse, won't we?
Yeah.
Why it was chafing. Have they never chased before?
My legs, they've not chafed like this before, no. But I think this is the closest they've been. And also the jogging and stuff. I've not jogged in years, really. So I think that, because I like to do the cross trainer, and that kind of keeps your legs quite separated, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah. but no, I'm on the jogging. And that, I don't know, I must jog with my toes close together. I don't know, my legs are just fucking well close together.
Yeah.
So just full on burn. And it's not very sexy, is it? When you're like, oh, look at me bubble, and then there's just two big red marks around the side.
You've got rasher thighs.
Yeah, I've got proper nappy rash.
Yeah. Nappy rash as an adult is so embarrassing.
Yeah, it is
you shouldn't be embarrassed, but it's like when you get a nosebleed. It's like, I shouldn't be embarrassed, but I am. I don't know why.
But there was bits when I was jogging this morning, I thought, right, I can feel the chafe. I can feel the chafing, right? I can feel it as it's happening. So I thought I'll run with my legs a bit apart. But then I felt like I looked like I've chipped my pants. And I was and I was running like kicking me legs out like the Artful Dodger.
Yeah, just waddling down the street like you don't like. People will think that's the first time you've ever ran before. They saw you.
It's like a duckling learning to walk.
But yeah, I was doing that, and just a bit uncomfy. I think these shorts I've got on now are a bit uncomfy. I mean, they're not. I get bad front wedges, do you know, with your balls, and it's hard with front wedges to sort it out in public because then you're groping your genitals, really.
You can get arrested for that.
Yeah, but I do get quite big. I do get quite bad sort of front wedges because moving my balls. But I've got quite a big sack, really. I've got quite big balls.
How big? Like, what are we talking? Are we talking like orange or lemon?
we they're both big.
Yeah.
If a lemon was
you had those
ball,
straight to hand as well, Gearoid.
I'm just sitting in front of a fruit bowl. Just that's my role in the show. I'm going to just illustrate this for people that maybe can't hear.
Are you moonlighting as a medical consultant that you've got fruit so close to hand?
But we jokingly call it me dog balls. Because
you won't stop licking them.
No, not like pit bull dog balls. Do you know when they're like touching the toes?
Oh yeah.
So I've got quite danglers. That's one thing I'm scared about aging because I'm like, mine are already I've got quite big loose balls as it is.
Do you think you're chafing now? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get verrucas at the end.
But I might have to get them like tucked up or I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely ball tucks. You must be able to get a ball tuck. It's essentially just a facelift, isn't it? But just tenfold. Well, balls being the opposite word.
Yeah, but just put a little staple gun or something and staple the top up.
Staple the top up. It would look like a munchkin nose.
But yeah.
I think for your chafing, you should get pseudo-cream. Have you ever used pseudo-cream?
Yeah.
Every person that has a baby will tell you that pseudo-cream is absolutely incredible. And it is. Like, it does work. But the only problem is that they usually tell you and go, here, use some of this. And if you don't use it because there's shit in that pseudo-cream, no question. If you have a new baby And they're using that for nappies. Don't ever put that in your spots.
Yes, second hand. But I didn't really want to get Sudocrem because I thought, it's a bit embarrassing 32 and putting Sudocrem on me nappy rash.
Oh, really?
I think it's more embarrassing to have a nappy rash than getting Sudocrem.
Yeah, it's not nappy rash. It's jogging rash. It's from sport. I'm an athlete.
Yeah, we
doing the couch to 10K.
You can't be too embarrassed to buy Sudocrem if you're in the same shopping basket you've got lube.
Yeah, I normally get that online though. Well, I'm not embarrassed to buy Sudocrem, and just I like to keep stuff nice and sexy for me and him. And then if I'm like, I don't want him to see me putting Sudocrem on. Do you know what I mean? It's hard enough trying to get him on board when I've got big dog balls. Never mind if I've got me Sudocrem.
He's a doctor, though.
Yeah, that is true.
He's a doctor, and even he said, "Wow, there's some big dog balls."
It's a medical term.
Yeah, it's a medical term. Yeah, you learn that in your 5th year of medical school.
The listener might be delighted to know that we're adding a Patreon tier. And it's Josh's dog balls.
Yeah.
There's going to be illustrations.
I don't know whether I should say this on it. Well, yeah, fuck it. How do you dry your balls? Because he always laughs when I dry mine.
Why, are you running down the street or something?
Right, I'm gonna do an example.
Did you do the helicopter?
I admire you, Josh. It's an audio podcast. So you just need to...
But you can explain what I'm doing.
I'll explain it. That's all right.
So if I have the towel, I put it between my balls, and then he laughs because I do this.
Oh, you go from front, you floss yourself.
And I dry my balls like that. And then I do a little wee. Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder he laughs. I dry mine like I'm washing an apple.
Dude,
like you just the towel around.
Dude, no one ever teaches you how to dry your balls.
Yeah, I tell you what, Josh,
Morgan?
I do it like you. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah,
you're a flosser.
You're a flosser.
I don't think you're I thought you were flossing, but you have them both hands down the front, and as if
I kind of keep. I don't know how to explain it.
That's not drying, Josh.
You're essentially humping a towel, dry humping a towel.
But they end up dry at the end of it. But I'm like proper rubbing my balls. I don't know. I don't know how other people dry the balls.
No.
Well, it's not like that. I've always been very. I think I've always been. I dry myself like I'm a granddad, because somebody told me. Years ago, I remember that you always need to dry your feet, always dry between your feet. So I because apparently if you don't dry yourself properly, you can get like rashes and stuff. So I dry myself like.
Chatting with Cherubs.
You guys were together all weekend.
I know we had a weekend out in Ireland without you. Well, Gearoid was just at home.
Yeah, Josh was on his holidays, and he kept saying that I'm on my holidays.
I know.
Yeah, and someone had to screenshot your close friends. I didn't realize you were there.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We really missed you.
No, it would have been good if you was there, but it was better that you wasn't. And I had a great time.
Because when there's only one visitor that gets spoiled, when it's two, it's like it's just work.
Well, yeah, but we would have had one of us would have had to end up on the sofa if you were there. Yeah. But it was really fun though. Because also, right, Gearoid did his I don't know why you could say this yourself, but I don't know why I'm saying it for you. But Gearoid did Vicar Street in Dublin on his solo tour. So it's quite a big deal.
Yay! How did it go?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Big old gig.
Josh smashed it, which made me quite nervous. But
yeah, I came over to do.
Oh no!
I came over to do tour support. But I said this to you, and then I thought on the way home, I was a bit rude. I was like, I'm not really here for the money. Like, your money means nothing to me. No, but I mean, it was more just like, I quite like seeing my friends do their tour shows in their hometown. It feels really special.
Yeah.
And I met your family and all that. It wasn't like a normal gig. It was like a big gig. He was filming it. You know, everyone he cared about was there. Everyone. No one was missed out. No.
Oh,
All of us.
wow. How dare you? How dare you? Well,
So,
actually, I'll find you missed out.
This is
I've actually
awful,
found-
Morgan.
where was you on Friday night?
I was actually at a queer cabaret. With Kisa and Phoebe, I used to run Big Belly Comedy. It was wicked. I got absolutely battered.
But you would have liked Gearoid's family.
They're intense.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
really
I'm
nice.
great with intense people.
He's got 5 siblings. Have I counted right? Yeah, 5. And I knew what I guessed I guessed who was wearing the pecking order spot on.
That was really weird. Because you got that completely right.
Just by how they all interacted with.
When you say pecking order, did you mean age or status?
Oh, age.
Or parents' favourite?
No, age. Yeah, but I guess everybody the age order, and it was just because of how they all acted with each other, and I got it spot on. I was like, wow,
that was spooky.
I don't know what I'm going to do with this skill.
Reunite families,
wills or something. You could go into like inheritance.
But yeah, you could tell that you and your sister were the 2 oldest because she came over to you and was like oh blah blah blah. She was more like serious and stuff, and I could tell the 2 youngest because they didn't give a fuck. Well, I was having shots with them.
yeah.
I were on the tequila rosé with them 2. They didn't give a
love a tequila rosé. A tequila rosé to me is one of those new things that I've so happily accepted. A bit like espresso martinis. You know how like espresso martinis have replaced Jaeger bombs? Yes. I think tequila rosé is replaced, as you'd imagine, tequila, and I'm so happy for it.
Well, I've got to that point in my age. I've got to that point in drinking now where I don't give in to peer pressure. Like I don't do shots. I don't like shots. So when they were like, "Oh, we got shots," and even though it was Gearoid's family, I was like, "No, don't give a fuck." They were like, "Come on." I was like, "No." And then when I saw it with tequila rosé, I went, "Oh, I'll have one." I ended up having 2. I had 2. Tequila rosé tastes nice, so
I've never had one, and nobody bought me a shot. It was my special night.
Yeah.
Nah, they were all
special night, and Josh is there with them all.
Yeah, exactly. I've had a great time.
I'm not gonna lie. I came in and took the attention from him.
He did. He did. Josh was very much the star of the show. And also the guy I danced with, Stephen, I danced with him and Danced with the Stars. He was there as well.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to come out at the end, and we had a projector like to show a couple of just a couple of clips and photographs, and we had like kind of worked out what we were going to say about each one, and the projector didn't work. So it was like,
oh, the worst. The worst.
It was the first time in our friendship I've really seen you quite like, you weren't angry or rude to anyone, but I could tell you was quite annoyed. And I said to you, this is whilst he was pissed off, just finished the show, the projector didn't work, and I went, "Oh, she's fuming."
Oh,
I was.
He's still in the dressing room, and I was like, "Oh, she's livid."
Oh, that's such
shit
bully.
Yeah. I know, but I'd already had a pint by then. I were on the holidays.
Yeah. Oh, she's angry.
Yeah, I was annoyed. And I felt so sorry for Stephen because like he came out on the stage, but then we'd nothing to do then because the nothing was working. So it was like, oh, and I felt so sorry because for comics, like it's okay, but he was very out of his comfort zone.
He told a joke to.
He did.
You said tell a joke, and he did that on the spot. He told a dad joke.
Oh, yeah. Oh wow! So which ism was it?
It was none. It was what's this?
I don't know what is. That is actually quite funny.
Yeah, that's quite good.
But yeah, he was lovely as well.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. Yeah, he's pretty cool. All my family really like him. I think they kind of fancy him because one of my sisters said after, she's like, "Oh, he's such a great hugger."
No. But she did say that about me as well, because I said, oh, she went and hugged me and said, I'm a good hugger, but I have a bit more padding than Stephen.
I don't think Stephen's getting chafing on Dancing with the Stars.
No, Stephen doesn't chafe.
The only thing he's burning is people's marriages down.
So but the projection not working, I was really annoyed. I was kicking off.
Have you had stage mishaps? What's like a stage mishap that you can remember the most?
I literally had one the other week. I'm going to post it about it this week as well. I was at Cadogan Hall, and I think, I might as well say that, I think the Lively Apollo booker was invited. Whether he was there, I don't know. But it was a manual spotlight handler, so the spotlight follows you on stage, and it's someone doing it manually up there. And I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to run out of the spotlight and make them chase me around the stage. Something a bit fun.
Oh, no.
And so I didn't tell the audience I was going to do that. What I was going to do, I was doing jokes about hobbies. And I said, one of my favorite hobbies is checking whether it's someone's first day. And then I ran out and I started sprinting up the other direction. But I immediately fell over. And I just played just like cartoonish, like my arms and my legs just freewheeling. And I landed on all fours on the floor. And it is because it's an old theatre space, it is just wood. And I tell you what, congratulations to the acoustics of Cardigan Hall, because it made it sound like I fell off a fucking cliff.
Oh.
How many people were in the audience?
Ooh, a good 900.
Oh, no.
That's so mortifying.
That is,
I'd never gig again.
My boyfriend was there to see it.
Of course.
Oh my God. I would never gig again. And it
was right at the start of my set. Right at the start.
How do you come back from that?
I'll be honest with you, I somehow managed it, but in my head I'm going, oh God, I've got it on camera.
On the floor.
Oh,
I've got it on camera. I've not been able to look at it.
Yeah. Oh, you've got it filmed. Amazing.
Oh, so you're going to put the clip up?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to wank to that. That's hilarious.
Best of luck over those big dog balls.
Yeah.
That is so embarrassing. I think if I, like, the idea, did you hurt yourself? Because that would be the worst one. If you're like,
no, I did have a headache because I did kind of hit my head.
If you die before me, Morgan, I'm going to fight to the nail that's played at your funeral.
Please do. And when my coffin goes down the aisle, I don't want the spotlight to be on it because I've accidentally gone too far.
Yeah. And then the EastEnders dun 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 dun.
But did the spotlight did the spotlight?
I couldn't tell. Oh yeah, because obviously I went to go 100 miles an hour, so I just fell over straight away. So I was just lit the whole time on this slow falling over because I was wearing Chelsea boots for the first time in ages.
I've never seen you run. I couldn't imagine you running.
Well, I tell you who also hasn't seen me run. 900 people at the Cardigan Hall.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine you running. It's like when I was in Ireland this week and I saw Gearoid drive for the first time, and I thought it was hilarious because I didn't think he could drive.
It's not the same, but it's like when we went swimming recently.
Oh yeah, we hadn't swam. That was funny because you actually hadn't swam in ages, and I go quite often, and you were like, "Oh God, my arms are clicking."
So when we were in the changing room, we were both like, "Oh, we've actually never seen each other naked."
Yeah, we was in it because I get naked at the changing room,
Yeah, me too.
But like, because we was in there together, we've never been naked in a changing room together. And I was like, this is so weird.
That would be very weird.
It
Yeah.
was
I think
weird.
I'd need a cubicle.
It was more weird because that's how I found out I was chafing. Morgan told me. No.
And Morgan would say, "What's going on with those big balls? That's not the way they should be."
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Josh needs to get neutered.
He saw them, but like under the little crack in the door at the showers.
Yeah.
Just saw me feet and my balls sat right next to me feet.
You were just dragging them along like a bin bag.
Oh, Josh was passing me the soap.
I didn't realize this podcast was so intimate. Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah.
That is embarrassing, Morgan. That's actually awful. I fell on stage walking on stage
Josh.
once. Well, it is embarrassing. It is a fear. Falling on stage is embarrassing, especially when you're a comedian because you're supposed to be like have a bit of authority.
Yeah, a bit of swag.
And then like you fall over, you're like, fucking hell, I'm in our bed.
It's so the worst thing that happened to me was at Edinburgh. I was wearing I had these like skinny jeans that had like a stretchy kind of waist. But you have to wear a belt with them. And I left the house and I forgot my belt. And I was doing a compilation show and I was on and I could feel them. Had a shirt, like a baggy shirt on, and I could feel them starting to go. But it was one of those. I think it was the Pleasance one. Anyway, I was doing it and I could feel them starting to go. I was like, I think they're going to fall down, but I didn't stop because it was kind of hard. I just kept going and going. And then just as I was walking off stage, I went up the step and like literally they just fell down at the back of my. So embarrassing. It's
That's
just so
fine.
But if the gig didn't go well, they might have thought you did it on purpose. Be like, fuck you, just mooning it.
Yeah.
They were like, it was bad enough, and then he did that.
You thought I was shit. Well, I'm gonna shit.
Yeah.
One of the most embarrassing things that happened to me was quite simple. Basically, I don't know, it's not even that embarrassing, but I was on stage and me DP, and I thought that was a bit embarrassing. And then the tech manager went on in the break and peeled it off the ground because it landed sticky side first. That was quite embarrassing. But the one of the weirdest things that's happened, I don't know if I've ever told you this, Morgan, I might have done, but I was doing a gig about 8 years ago. So I'd only been going like 2 years or whatever. And it was a sober gig. So everyone was like in recovery. And I'd never, like now, that's fine. Like sober gigs are normal.
Yeah.
But, like,
Is this in Manchester by any chance?
Yeah.
I did this gig.
Yeah. And I was a bit nervous because I'd never done a sober gig. That wasn't part of it. That wasn't a big deal at all.
Yeah.
They were all sat on beanbags and stuff though. And it was
I have done this one.
And it was underground. It was like underground. And the woman organising it, I think she might have done like a handful of gigs, but she wasn't really a comedian, but she insisted on emceeing it herself, right? And
when someone's insisting to MC, that's always a telltale sign, isn't it?
Yeah. If anyone listening to this wants to put on a charity show or a bit of something and you want to do a comedy show, don't host it yourself. Get a professional comedian.
Please. That needs to get out there. That needs to become common knowledge.
So she were hosting and she did the Beyonce Crazy in Love sort of dun 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 dun. And then she pulled her back muscle and was like burst out like crying on stage. But then she was kind of like
I'm crying.
Yeah, she was like in tears. She was like crying on stage. And then that's not the funny bit, but there was a bit of a sofa. I don't know why. It was such a weird venue. You said you've done it. It was like quite a strange venue.
Yeah.
And there was like a weird sofa thing on the edge of the stage. So she was like very persistent because we was like, shall we have a break? Shall we pause for a break? And she was like, no, the show must go on. She kept saying the show must
every
go on.
every time she said it, if she would pull her back even more.
Yeah. So she got the act on, and it was Harry Stakina, who you've met. He's based in Manchester, real lovely guy. And we kind of started around the same time. And yeah, this was 8 years ago. So we were still quite new. So he went on stage, but whilst he was on stage, she was like sat at the side of the stage with like tears in her eyes in pain. Someone's phoned an ambulance and stuff like that. And Harry's on stage. The woman is like, no, carry on, carry on. So then he has to bring me on stage. So then I go on and I'm trying to do the gig and she's like in the back of the room now. And then the paramedics come in the room. So whilst I'm on, the paramedics come in, but because it's underground, they come in with a gurney sort of thing. So she's getting lifted out of the gig on a gurney, and I'm on stage doing like my little jokes. But because I was a new comedian, I didn't address it. I just carried on. I just carried on doing the jokes. I remember looking at the audience and trying to ring. And instead of addressing it, which I should have done, what I did was I looked at the audience and went, just look at me. Just look at me.
In fairness, you still do that to this day, though, don't you?
Yeah, just look at me. Just look at me.
Oh, that's more. And she's there going,
yeah, she was like, and then I remember while she was being carried out, she was like, enjoy the show. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is mental.
Oh, that's more. The one gig you needed drugs.
Yeah.
It's a fucking sober gig.
I know.
I do think sometimes that people that organize charity gigs, it's like once they've organized the gig, I think they think it's enough. It doesn't matter how the gig goes.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just everyone's here and we've sold this many tickets and then it's fine and then they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. They're insane.
Yeah. I did one for I remember I did one years ago for this one was organizing it for the blind. It was like a blind National Council for the Blind, I think. And it sold well. It sold, but it didn't sell as well as she hoped. And she was really upset on the night. And I was kind of like, well, don't worry. Like, we're all doing it for free. You know, there's people here. You know, I think it was like a tenner in and there was like 50 people. I was like, that's 500 quid. And she was like, yeah, but the face painter cost 450 quid. And all of the
the face painter,
all of these people, all of these blind people,
yeah,
had like this like lace painted on their face, like really intricate face paint. It's like, why of all gigs, most of the people at it were blind and they all had face paint on. Like, what's the point?
That is insane.
That face painter, do them dirty. You need to call them out.
There's a photograph as well, because it was on Facebook years ago, because I remember looking it up before, and she told me that when they were taking a photograph of us all together, and my face is just like because I've just heard there's a face painter.
Well, all the comics were doing it for free, but the face painter was
got paid.
450 quid. Is that how much a face painter costs?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it sounds very high.
That's insane.
But like, she couldn't even do Spider-Man. Like, it was just all like this fancy.
Yeah, I bet that wasn't even like that ad. I bet she had one of those prints and she spray painted over the head.
like it's a car.
Yeah,
in my blind.
Or a stamp.
Do you want to know something quite nerdy about Gearoid? When I was at his house the other day, he got he'd ordered a thing and it came, and it was his address and his name on a print, so he can print letters. And a stamp.
It was
like you're a bank clerk. Just,
I mean,
granting people's mortgages.
That's quite depressing, that, isn't it?
How much fan mail do you get in?
On Temu. I was delighted with myself.
You and Temu, you've got a problem.
I love it. I love it.
I know. I'm scared that we're his only friends.
But I stamped it a few times in front of Josh and I was quite delighted with myself, but I haven't used it since and I don't know what I'll use it for. I think what I'll use it for is, when you return and stuff, you have to like write your name on the outside.
Do you know, like when a kid shows you a painting and you're like, yeah, that's great, but you know it's shit. That's what I was like with his stamp. It was like, look at this. I was like, well done.
Oh wow! In my head, when you're doing that, you're on the floor, sat down.
Yeah, with my legs crossed.
T-shirt. Yeah, Josh, look. Just do it.
And Josh, even though he's a house guest, he doesn't feel the need to feel the need to like just compliment you because he's staying in your home. He's like, no, do you not have any friends?
No, yeah.
Where am I sleeping? Bedroom, is it?
I'm going into my room now because this is quite upsetting, and I've just been on a flight.
Tell you what, because while we were away as well, I went to a queer cabaret event. I don't know this. I'm just thinking off the top. I love cabaret. What do you think of cabaret? I'm obsessed with I love cabaret and circus.
You know, singing and like burlesque and all that.
And they do like, you know, acrobatics, and it's like they all have like a special skill. I just love it. Every time I see a circus performer, you know, spinning around to music, synchronized, balancing swords on their titties, and you just go like, oh, jokes are rubbish.
I know.
Compared to this.
What's that guy? Do you know Stamptown, Zach Finger's gig?
Zach Zucker, is it?
Oh, Zach Zucker, yeah.
But he does the gig in Edinburgh. There was a guy on it who I went and watched it, and they had a guy who blew fire out of his penis. He put fire in his urethra thing, the pee hole, and a stick of fire, and blew out of it.
Oh my God. How do you even discover you could do that? Like, how do you, like the first couple, the first couple of times you do anything, it's a bit ropey. Like,
I remember though walking out of there, and it was in the Pleasance Grand, which is quite big, like 800, probably more seats, and it was full. And then we're walking out, and then, you know, Edinburgh Fringe, quite a lot of rich people there. And there was like this posh English guy, and I just heard him behind me go, he was hung like a horse. I've never forgot that. He was hung like a horse.
Oh my God. That's the thing with hung people. Just being hung isn't enough, is it? You got to do something else.
Well, I suppose if you are hung, you can afford to lose a couple of inches to a fire. You know?
Yeah,
even if this goes wrong, it'll still be decent.
Yeah, I'm going to start blowing fire out my balls.
Got enough fuel?
No, you could use your balls just to stamp out a fire.
Yeah. He
the
can
sandbags
start,
out.
Yeah, he can start the fire, and my trick will come on and get me balls and just whack them off.
Well, maybe that's just your cabaret act, Josh.
Yeah. Maybe if I find another like big balls boy, we could do like tennis or something.
Yeah.
With our balls.
Or have a pillow fight.
Yeah. We'll break each other's arms with our big sacks.
Oh, it's going into work. Oh, how do you broke your arm? How'd you manage that? So obviously it's been like so sunny recently, and I actually met up with a pint from my dad in Soho, and talking about, actually you've already mentioned mortifying things. This is the most mortifying thing that's happened. You've ever been to the Toucan in Soho? Irish pub. It just
I've
does.
Been with you.
I drag every fucker there. Anyone than anyone, I take there because it's proper. Even though it's an Irish pub, it's proper London. In the you can own. The only space is the street.
Yeah, you just stand on the street. You love it there. I love it.
I get bored sitting down. I love it. Standing up, moving about in the sun, just all me and all these gorgeous day. And I thought I had a bit of a sexy moment in my head. I'm going to wear my vest, look massive. And so I go to the Toucan. And if you've ever been to the Toucan, it's a narrow street. I went to the other side to put these pints down because I was carrying 3. And I put these pints down these steps. I take my overshirt off and I just go, here we fucking go. Everybody is looking at me. And everybody is looking at me. And I'm going, oh, baby, it's working. Whatever you're doing, it is working. And I try and compose myself to make sure that I'm not as if I don't know that how hot I am. And then I turn around and I'm stood in front of Jasón Mamoa. So turns out no one was looking at this little Welsh egotistical twat. They were all looking at Aquaman. He was just there looking like Aquaman, just humongous. Had the longest cigar I think I've ever seen him. I don't know if it might have been a cigar. I do not know, but
yeah. That happened to me when I was on holidays. I had I was wearing a pair of dungaree shorts, and and people were like, people were looking at me in the bar, and I was like, what? Yeah, middle-aged man, dungaree shorts. It's fine. What? What's your problem? And then I realized there was actually a kid exactly the same as me. Like she's 1.5, and it was like identical. So embarrassing.
Jasón Mamoa, though, was he topless?
No. Bizarrely, had loads of clothes on, but everyone could still tell it was him. I think he was trying to be a bit incognito.
I mean, it's hard to be. It's hard to be incognito when you must be 7 foot.
But he was on the steps. Yeah,
he's broad. He's a big boy.
Oh yeah, he was doing it for everyone. Even the men had their mouths open mouthed.
You could be like his distant cousin.
Yeah.
Riverman.
Yeah.
Canal
boy.
Canal boy.
The DC's got a bit shit. Have you heard of Canal boy?
It's the lad from the pond.
Yeah, he doesn't save the world. He just saves barges.
Yeah.
Open and shuts locks with his mind.
How
quick from how many days between falling on the stage and getting topless in front of Jasón Mamoa?
Jasón Mamoa was first.
Yeah.
Then it was falling over.
How many days between those?
About a week apart.
That's rough.
That's like I don't think I'd be still here with us.
Yeah. You've got serious resilience, Morgan.
That ground, I want the ground to swallow me up. That is just a lot in a week. That's so embarrassing. Just as you're getting over the first Jasón Mamoa one, you go and fall over in front of 900 people.
Yeah, that will do it. But then it's not even that that Jasón Mamoa thing happened far enough that you could have a really good story about it. If you told that on stage after falling over, they'd just be like, this kid needs to go home. He's deranged. Yeah, he's cursed. He might be contagious.
He can't look after himself.
But how about it the next day? And as well, just to caveat this, I was a little bit skint at the time. I've been chasing people. I'm just in the working, but people aren't paying their blinking invoices, if that makes sense.
Oh, I have that at the moment.
So anywho, I was really skint, and I was out meeting Nigel Lunn for lunch the next day. I'm sat in the pub. I get there a little bit early. I'm reading my little Richard Osman book. These two people sit opposite me. They sit on the table opposite me. They sit down, get up. And I went, that's a bit quick. And I look at their table and I notice there's no drinks on there. I reach over to my coat. They've taken my wallet. I've been pickpocketed. And so I catch them, And I don't think they were expecting to see me come in. And I just went bananas. I sort of crept up on them. And then they saw me. They threw my wallet down on the floor. And I just went full.
Aquaman.
Full Aquaman. I had to channel. What would Jasón Mamoa do in this moment? And so I just had to chase these two lads down.
Well, he probably was in the audience at that gig and thought, well, he can't run. You've got another 898 planning to do this on you now. You've made yourself an easy target.
I shouldn't put it up online, should I? But I tell you what, I'm grabbing them. So I'm shouting down the street, chasing them. They've got my wallet. No one's helping. Classic.
That's crazy.
Anywho, I'm chasing that. I managed to I rugby tackle the first one, and his friend comes and helps him out, and I just push him away. He goes, "Oh, I'm off," and then runs. And so there's he must be about early 20s, and because we must be about half a mile away now. Maybe no, we're several hundred meters away from it. And I walk him down the high street in a headlock, and people come and stop by, and I tell you what, if you ever want to walk somewhere in public with someone in a headlock, just say they nicked my wallet, because everyone just came up to me. I said they've got my wallet. They went, "Oh, totally."
When you what happened when you let him out of the headlock? What happened when you let him out of the headlock? Did you kiss?
Yeah. I mean, it's a wallet or a peck. But yeah, so like when I saw them throw the wallet down, I was like, they've probably taken my cards. I need my cards. And so I got him in a headlock. I got 999 in my other hand. And I said, if anything's out that wallet, I'm calling. And so we get there. In the end, someone's picked up my wallet, and I go, "Oh, that's mine." I just go, "I've got it." And I let him wriggle free. He leaves his bag though, his rucksack.
So you've mugged him?
I know. And so I got pickpocketed, and now I've got their stuff.
I bet it was full of other people's stuff.
Yeah, but I had that was my immediate thought was, oh no, I've mugged my pickpocketer.
And what did you make? How much was in it?
I don't know. I'll tell you what. I don't know whether I'll be a bit naughty. So the people that were that found my wallet were about to walk into a hotel. You know, so we were literally in the foyer. He wriggles off, and I say, "Oh, can I just leave this bag here? I don't want this bag, and I don't want to leave it on the street. Can I leave it in this hotel?" And the hotel were like, "You're not staying here. We don't want this bag." And I went, "All right, a bit of a job's worth." I was like, "I so don't want this bag. So if anyone wants a bag, probably full of mobile phones, I just chucked it up. And it's now on top of the hotel side."
You threw it on top of the hotel?
I didn't want it. But if anyone wants a bag of probably mobile phones, they're on the roof of a hotel in Paddington.
Morgan, you're out of control.
I know.
That's like...
I was going for this meal, which was I couldn't eat because my heart was in my mouth and I was pounded. And you know, it was Nigel London, so it was like a really posh, really expensive meal. And I couldn't eat any of it because I was so sweaty.
Oh my God.
I bet you did feel a bit like, I'm a fool. I'm hard as fuck me.
Did you just flex for the whole meal?
No, this is what I did for the whole meal. So, because I tell you what, I was wearing my Chelsea boots and I didn't fall over.
Oh, there you go. That's progress. Me.
Yeah.
When did this happen? You've not even texted and told me you was mugged.
Yeah, because I've been saving it for the podcast.
Oh, so you just don't tell me when life-threatening things happen anymore then?
Yeah.
I have to wait till the podcast. Morgan's going to turn up one day with all of his limbs missing. I was hacked to death, but I thought I'd wait till the podcast.
Yeah, I'm on tour and I also need a kidney.
Yeah, just the video pans out and there's a gun to my head. Oh, by the way, I'm taken hostage. I forgot to take.
I'm just saving it for the podcast.
I was just saving it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Morgan, why are you holding today's paper? But someone was Nigel's fiance made the good point. She said, like, "Oh, they're a bit brave, like, because I'm a beefy boy, tattoos, skinhead, beard. They were a bit like, oh, they're a bit brave choosing you to pickpocket."
Yeah,
and I tell you what, yeah, I do see it. But I tell you, if you're ever wondering, like, if you're feeling super mask or super strong or super fierce, read Richard Osman, Who Done It. Because then apparently you've got victim written all over you.
Yeah, because if I get mugged, I'd be like, yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, to be expected.
Did you see them go near your jacket?
No, I didn't clock it till after.
I was with one of my friends in a pub in just off Compton Street, and when we were in there, I went to the bar. He went to the toilet, and I went to the bar, like just right beside the table where his bag was. And then this woman kind of got in my way as I was going back to the table. It was only like about 2 meters away, and there were 2 men behind her, and they were taking the bag. Yeah, I felt really guilty about that. I didn't replace anything, but I did feel guilty.
No. And did you just split it with the men when you met them after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Get Boys.
Yeah.
Half a phone.
The reason I bring this up, I've been thinking about toilets recently because I think my going to the toilet schedule is the same as the cleaner at my cafe's cleaning schedule, because I just see it every time I go in for my morning dump every morning. It's the same woman. And we've got this really weird thing that's happened, because it is like every day I see her for my first poo, and every day she sees me and she goes, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So she knows you're...
She knows you're going to poo.
And does she try and get in to use it before you?
Yeah, so every time she sees me going, it's so much go, she goes, uh-oh.
That's humiliating.
Yeah.
This podcast today has just been you telling us horrifying stories about your life.
I know. We had such a lovely weekend. I feel so guilty.
Yeah. You're getting mugged and shamed for having a poo.
This is really bad.
Some nasty woman shaming you every day for going for a poo in the morning.
It must be really bad. Like if you see her outside the cafe shitting in a litter bin, like it's better than using it after him.
Yeah. It wasn't the only time I've been shamed in the toilet. I was at the urinal. I'll just admit it. I farted at the urinal. Do you think it's all right to fart when you're at the urinal or not?
I'm just trying to think of, I must have, but I'm trying to think if I've farted and weed at the same time. I'm just trying to imagine my body doing that. That's a bit of juggling, that, really.
I'm a bit of a multitasker. I don't want to brag. It's my cabaret act. It's weeing and farting at the same time.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can fart whilst wee.
I think you stop. I think it's you can wee and then the wee stops. And then
Unless Morgan just got his dick out, farted, didn't we? Put his dick away.
Yeah, that's how I fart. I fart out my willy. I'm trying to be a fire blower.
No, yeah, do you know, with Morgan over the years, Oga Road, I have a special skill of every time I phone him, I must have at least 50 photos of Morgan on the toilet, because every time I've gone to phone him, he's like, "You've got a skill," and I always phone him whilst he's having a shit.
I was the same with my best friend, and it was text though, because we would text each other. It happened a few times when he moved to Canada that I would text him and he would text me back a photograph and he's on the toilet. So then for, I'd say, easily a year, when we were doing a poo, we would send each other a photograph. So we've got tons of photographs of each other on the toilet. I made him a birthday card a few years ago where I got all of the photographs, and the other way you can get them printed on Moonpig. I put them all on the front of a birthday card.
You're not going into Card Factory for that one, are you?
No.
You've sent me quite a few of just your feet on the rug, and I'm like, I know that's a toilet rug.
Yeah, those are clenched.
You know, it's my morning one.
Yeah.
I've just been shamed. They're shame toes.
Yeah. Yeah, but I send him photos of me on the toilet, but it's just my balls drowning in the water at the bottom.
2 knees and something that looks like a space hopper.
thank you so much for listening to Chatting with Cherubs. If you want to see any of us live, I'm going to go on tour in September. You can get tickets at joshjonescomedy.com. And if not, follow me on Instagram at joshyjones92 and all the information's on there. Morgan, got anything to plug?
Yes, just social media. I've got another podcast called My Bad with Morgan Rees, where we just talk about toxic traits with famous people. I'm also at the Edinburgh Fringe. And Gearoid, where are you two?
I am on tour at the moment in Ireland. GearoidFarralley.com is where I get the tickets. I'm on Instagram at Gearoid Farralley, and I have another podcast called Agony Rants, which comes out every Monday.
Excellent stuff. Rightio. See you next week, everybody. Cheers for listening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.